What is going on, ladies and gents? What is happening? How is everybody doing this day and this lovely evening? I hope you all are doing great and safe out there. Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Uh, I am your guy, your host, Arrington Gavin, coming to you with another great conversation. A lot of stuff to unpack today. This is the show we discuss stuff that's trending, thought-provoking topics from the fields of politics, sports, pop culture, and so much more. On today's show, we're going to be impacting a little politics, a little entertainment, a little sports, some good and bad, as well as the music. Yes, we're going to be discussing a little bit of, music and entertainment as well. For those who are new to this program, this show airs Monday on the digital platforms. It airs Monday through Thursdays at 7 p.m. on all digital and streaming platforms. On the radio waves Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk out in the Metro Atlanta area. I truly thank my friends out there and those who are in Georgia tuning in as we speak. You can also tune in at on WDJYFM.com online. And multiple ways you can tune into this program. So I truly thank those who continue to support the Arrington Gavin Show. We are an independent, unbiased platform, very grassroots, and we are continue to grow and get in front of more eyes and listening in more ears as well. So I'm excited to be talking with y'all, because here on the show is mainly just a conversation. It's just a conversation between you, the listeners, the viewers out there, where you can kick back, decompress, and just talk. Let's just talk. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm having a really rough beard day today. Usually my beard is looking sharp, but I was rushing today, and in Virginia, it is very humid. We have some hot climates right now. For those who are not familiar with Virginia weather, it's very humid. So I've interacted with people that are from Arizona, and they said, look, it's warmer here than it is in Arizona. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait. It's like 120 degrees in Arizona. How are you saying your guys' weather is not warmer as is less warmer than it is in Virginia? They're like, look, it's the humidity. And man, let me tell you something. That humidity is a monster out here. It's mucky, it's stuffy, and it's just it's not pleasant at all. But like I mentioned before, we got a lot to unpack today. The artist known as Prince, the late great musician Prince, will be receiving a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2025. So we will unpack more on that story. Also, an ex-wrestler arrested, charged for a violent stabbing. We'll impact that as well. Actor Ben Affleck goes ham. He fusses the crap out of paparazzi. What else is new? Also, let's see what we have here. Also, we'll talk a little politics as well. Speaking on why young voters now are all of a sudden starting to back more on Joe Biden's side than former President Donald Trump, because at the time, young voters was leaning more Trump, and I still think it's still a back and forth kind of thing, but I'll unpack more of that here on the program. And of course, we have the question of the day, one of our favorite segments here on the show, the question of the day. And let me see here. So we have that going on. We got a lot of stuff happening here on the show. So before we do so, we got to acknowledge our awesome supporters of the program, like my good friend Bernardo Johnson, founder of Bernardo's Menswear. This line, his store, it keeps you sharp, swagged out from head to toe, business casual, formal, you name it, he has it there. Shoes, I mean, everything is just so sharp. Everything is so sharp. He always keeps me looking swagged out in a sense, and just professional, because I attend a lot of business events and functions, and I'm always like, oh man, I gotta wear something really sharp. I want to look comfortable, but I do have to make sure I dress the attire because I attend a lot of after 5 business casual functions. Bernardo Johnson has his store is awesome. Bernardo's Menswear. If you happen to be in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, then go visit his store located in MacArthur Mall in the heart of downtown Norfolk, first floor, Bernardo's Menswear. Or no worries, for those who are, because we have so many people that listen to all across the United States here on this program and really all around the world. You can go online to www.bernardosmenswear.com. That's bernardosmenswear.com. Let's see. Also, want to very quickly acknowledge Ingenious Gin. Okay, Ingenious Gin, a rose gold, veteran-owned, black-owned gin. For you gin connoisseurs and gin explorers out there, I highly recommend this great spirit. I can repeat the same thing I've said all the time. I've always been a bourbon guy, right? Bourbon, whiskey, that is my main preference. Never, never, ever care for gin. I've dabbled in the gin before, but I've never cared for it. I'm like, no, that's not my drink of choice right there. Until I had Ingenious Gin. It's great straight. It's great on ice. It's great in involved in a cocktail. I mean, it is so smooth and so elegant. I mean, one thing about me, I'm all about the elegance. I'm all about keeping it professional and distinction and all that great stuff. And this gin is an amazing spirit. For more information, you should check out your local Spirit or ABC stores, or you can go online at www.ingeniousgin.com. Again, that's www.ingeniousgin.com. Let's see. Which one are we going to start with first, ladies and gents? It's really so much going on right now, because I don't know about you, but it's like every day I wake up, there's an interesting conversation, interesting story, interesting question that pops up, right? And so it was difficult trying to find what am I going to talk about on today's show. It was very difficult trying to find what am I going to discuss on today's show. Now, as you know, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and so when I heard about this story, I'm like, oh man, I have to talk about it. Have to talk about it. But you know what? We're gonna do a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere, and do not change that dial. We'll be back here more on the Arrington Gavin Show. All right, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. All right, so our first story of the show, ex-wrestling star, Too Cold Scorpio arrested on a violent stabbing. Yikes, okay? Violent stabbing. This sounds pretty serious. So for those who are not huge wrestling fans like myself, because let me tell you something, ever since I was a kid, I feel like I was raised around wrestling. I've had every action figure. When I was younger, the only video games I played was wrestling. The only stuff I watched on TV is wrestling. I'm talking the Attitude Era. I mean, really, until now, I had took a long break from wrestling when I was probably like in middle school, high schoolish time, even college. I stopped watching it. I would say probably like 2 years ago, I started to get back into enjoying wrestling. It's just I think for me, the reason why I kind of took a break from watching professional wrestling was the fact that in middle school and high school, it wasn't looked upon as cool. A lot of the guys and nobody was really talking about it. So I wanted to make sure, like, okay, I don't want to, be that awkward person to be like, oh yeah, I like wrestling, I like pro wrestling, blase, blase, blase. And so when after I stopped talking about it, it never sparked my interest anymore. I never tuned in to professional wrestling at all. So until now it came back to the passion of how I enjoyed it, and it's great entertainment. And now the level of wrestlers and performers right now, man, they're on a whole nother level. Let me tell you something. Tremendous athletes. They're selling out massive stadiums. All right, I think they sold where the Philadelphia Eagles play, Lincoln Field. They sold out Lincoln Field 2 days in a row because they're starting to change up the like WrestleMania coverage now and stuff. Like, it's just because it's all under new leadership. Triple H, Hunter Helmsley, he is now, or Hunter Levesque, I think his last name is. But he's in new leadership. He's taking over and he's doing an amazing job. It's just on a whole nother level. So, not trying to get off sidetrack, but coming back to, I've always been a huge wrestling fan. ECW, WCW, WWE, or WWF, you name it, I always tuned in. If you had to ask who was my favorite wrestler, I'm a huge Kurt Angle fan. I've always admired the athletes, like the legit athletes. So him, Brock Lesnar. To me, John Cena was more of just a great entertainer. He's still in great shape, but he was a great entertainer. His character, won the hearts of a lot of people. Eddie Guerrero was one of my favorites. R.I.P. Let me see. Rey Mysterio. He was one of the most popular guys. Wore the mask and everything. I mean, I'm a fan of just wrestling, but The Rock. How can you not enjoy The Rock? You talking about one of the best performers, trash talkers, ad libbers. I mean, he was truly, no one could. Maybe Ric Flair and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and as far as like just freestyling on the mic, those are the guys that that was probably top tier. And then, of course, as a young kid, I always enjoyed watching the female wrestlers. Hey, I was a little kid, like, oh wow, hi, like, man, I was probably a little too young to watch it, but hey, I watched it. Go figure. So, if you were a fan of wrestling like I was, this name, Too Cold Scorpio, would definitely be like, oh yeah, I remember him. So, Too Cold Scorpio, for those who didn't know, he was best known for his appearance with WCW, ECW, and WWF. It says here he was very successful in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well as Pro Wrestling Noah. He held the ECW World Tag Team Champions, ECW World Television Champion, GHC Tag Team Champions, and WCW World Tag Team Champions. Now, he's 58 now. Now, he is not officially. I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. It says right here he never officially retired. So he's been wrestling since 1985. I mean, the man took good care of himself. He was in great shape. I mean, he was an amazing performer. Backflips, you name it. He's been wrestling under the independent circuit for quite some time. But he is in the limelight not for a reason I would want to be, getting some recognition. So, as I mentioned earlier, arrested for stabbing, claims it was self-defense. I'm reporting this by TMZ. It says here, former wrestling star Too Cold Scorpio, who won, as I mentioned earlier, WCW Tag Team Championship with Buff Bagwell in the early 1990s, was arrested for violently stabbing a man during a gas station fight, but he claims he was acting in self-defense. Now, I'll just be honest. I don't know how the argument started. I think I'll read a little more with it. They might have information, they might not, but I mean, how bad does it get for you to end off by stabbing somebody at a gas station? Like, what were y'all fighting about, dude? And I mean, what do you just always carry a knife on you? I mean, I'm sorry, y'all, but and this is my thing when it comes to even the Second Amendment. Like, I'm pro protecting your household, but I just don't understand when people are carrying a weapon on them at all times. I don't. Now, I understand, hey, self-defense, you can say, well, Arrington, what about ladies carrying pepper spray? That's that can be lethal. That's a weapon. Yes, but it's spray. I'm pretty sure somebody can live after getting pepper sprayed. But when it comes to there's a difference between an assault weapon and a deadly weapon. In my mind, right? A lot of things could be an assault weapon, but not a lot of things could be a deadly weapon. A knife and a gun is a deadly weapon. Mace, not a deadly weapon, but it is an assault weapon. So let me move on with this article. It says here, according to court documents obtained by TMZ Sports, the bloody incident happened at around 3:48 a.m. at the Love's Travel Stop in Kansas City, Missouri. Authorities say Two Cold Scorpio, aka Charles Skaggs, told them he was working as a security guard at the store when he saw a man who had lit up a cigarette inside of the establishment. The man was stabbed. The man was stabbed, tells TMZ Sports. He did not light up. He did not light up inside the store. He says that he thought the dart was he thought the dart was put out prior to entering the building, but it might not have been fully extinguished. Skaggs stated he told the guy he couldn't smoke inside, but then claimed the man became upset and said, F you, the F you, the F you gonna do. Yeah, that's what he said. Skaggs said the man then threatened him, and when the two eventually made their way outside the store, he claims the guy tried to grapple with him. During the scuffle, Skaggs told authorities he pulled a knife from his pocket and stabbed the guy in self-defense. The wrestler said the altercation went on for several moments, and in the squabble, he got a few more stabs too. Cops say when they arrived on the scene, they found the guy who was stabbed lying on the ground, bleeding from his head, chest, buttocks, legs, and abdominal. Wow, y'all. Wow. They added that he was transported to a local hospital as he was going in and out. He was going in and out of conscious. Now, sorry to get so graphic with you who are tuning into this program, but something don't sound right to me. I'll just be honest. So, okay, one, you have a security guard at a gas station. Now, I can kind of see it late at that around that time. A lot of convenience store, grocery stores, even hell, even gas stations, they're starting to have at least some form of protection nearby because those are some of the most easy targeted spots to get robbed, especially around that time of the night or of the morning, excuse me. And so okay, so I can understand the factor of having security. It's sad the fact that obviously Too Cold was a very well known. He was performing in front of major crowds. But that's another story to begin with because that would be a conversation I would like to have with some professionals and experts. That is fans of professional wrestling and that worked in professional wrestling because there's a lot of former wrestlers that have hit hard times. Man, I'm talking poor to the poor. It's like very, very just it's sad. But to the point where you say you're not allowed to smoke in here and the guy cusses you out, so that means he has to get stabbed multiple times, even in the scuffle. Like, I mean, you're a professional wrestler, you're a big guy. You couldn't just rock him a few times and then like be like, look, don't come back in here. But hey, you see where it took. So says here, according to the docs, though investigators were able to make contact with him at the medical facility later in the day, where they say he told them Skaggs was the aggressor in the situation. Skaggs was ultimately thrown behind bars and hit with 2 felony charges, 1 count of first-degree assault and 1 count of armed criminal action. Court records show after bonding out, he pleaded not guilty to the charges. He's due back in court of the hearing in the case later next month. Skaggs broke into the professional wrestling, yes, in 1985. As I mentioned earlier, he went on to compete in several promotions, including WWE, while mainly wrestling as Too Cold Scorpio. He also used the stage name Flash Funk. In his career, he held multiple championship belts. I mean, it's truly unfortunate, y'all. It's a sad story. I hope both parties will be satisfied when this is over. But again, as a wrestling fan, I hope this really was in self-defense. I really do. I can't, I'm gonna be unbiased. I'm a wrestling fan. It's sad to see when people have such a huge amount of success in the past, and now it's like, okay, now I'm a security guard at a gas station. I'm only 60 years old, and I'm a security guard, and now I'm arrested for stabbing a guy. I mean, just the multiple times, man. I mean, they said legs, head, this, that, and the other. Like, I mean, that's pretty. That's gonna be a hard one, man. That's gonna be a hard one. But again, too, who's telling the truth? Who's the honest one? Who was the who was the victim in this case? It gets to the conversation of, can armed security guards be a little too aggressive, right? I mean, you think of security guards at clubs when they toss people out. I mean, they toss them out like a sack of potatoes, man, like the trash. Like, I mean, they just like, no, get. I mean, it can get pretty violent. Now, I have been involved in local functions in my hometown, and even my foundation. We have security guards. We have armed security guards. Just because, hey, it's the world we live in. You got to be careful. People can act stupid here and there and want to start something, and so you got to rely on protection. But in this case right here, I mean, like, geez Louise, you tell him to put out a cigarette, you can't smoke in here, he reacts, he fusses you out, and then the two get the scuffling. Now one guy is fighting for his life because he's been stabbed multiple times. Tough case. But we will continue to follow up with this one, and I actually want to I had a couple of names in mind, a couple of friends that work in the wrestling scene, in the circuit and things like that. I would like to get their thoughts on this one. But like I said, I'll follow up a little more with this a little later on within the a little later on, and we'll bring it back on the show at another time. Let's do another quick break. We'll be back. We'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about actor Ben Affleck. Going ham on Paparazzi, man, for disturbing him at his residence. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
All right, we are back here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I hope you didn't go anywhere. Thanks for staying with me here. As you know, it's a nice and late. We're a late night vibe kind of show, so I appreciate y'all staying up, tuned into the program. Look, Ben Affleck, man, actor Ben Affleck has really been going through some things. I'll just be honest. You got documentaries and rumors about his relationship with Jennifer Lopez. That is the marriage off? Is it still on? Is looking kind of rocky. They're saying they're catching them at functions, solo now. And at the time, that was like puppy love. You saw them together all the time, public PDA galore, whatnot. And then also, before that, he was recovering from rehab because he has his personal demons that he's accomplished and has continued to fight. And so he's been going through a lot, right? Divorce, rehab, haven't really done a lot of films, still very wealthy. He's not broke, but just going through a lot of stuff personally now, going back to getting back with his ex, married, all this money spent, you name it. So that being said, when you are the talk of the town, when you are always going to be the subject to every story, it gains a lot of public attention. It gains a lot of paparazzi are always in your business, and whatnot. And so Ben Affleck, he had to vent off. He said, "I've had it, right? I've had it with you all." And he has something to say to one of the paparazzi that was near his residence when he was leaving. I believe it was Jennifer Lopez's home. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. This soundbite.
Listen, man, I'm gonna get you in an accident. Don't flash your light on somebody driving down the driveway. Listen, you do have to. Don't do that. That's dangerous. You don't even know if that's me. You're causing accident.
That's right. That's right. Okay, very right. I know, you know that. But you're right.
Stop, man. It's dangerous what you guys are doing. Do you understand? Yeah. I can't see. You're gonna get somebody hurt doing this. Jesus Christ, my daughter's coming down here. If you flash the lights on her, you're putting her in danger. You understand that?
Yeah. Understood, Ben.
I never what I can't understand is, you see how like they were, as far as paparazzis, right? They were like, "Oh, you know what, you're right, man. I understand. I apologize. I'm sorry." Yes. Everybody understand it, but they still gonna keep on doing it. They're still gonna continue to do so. I've tuned in. I'm a fan of TMZ. I've tuned to the show. I think the show's very entertaining. I think it's interesting for you have some celebrities that do enjoy TMZ, as far as when the reporters will come to them and ask them questions, things like that. But then you have guys like Ben Affleck that's like, "Leave me alone, please." Like, it's late in the night. I'm going down the driveway. All you guys are just flashing your lights, blocking my vision. He's absolutely right. I'm glad he got pissed. I'm glad he fussed out the paparazzi, because they're getting extremely aggressive, y'all. They are really, 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 and they've always been. I mean, paparazzis are not here to be heroes. I mean, they're really the villains when it comes to entertainers. That's one thing that they do despise is paparazzi, because you can be in your own home, in your backyard. You can be in your jacuzzi. Paparazzi gonna appear in your bushes. They're gonna appear everywhere. I don't know how they get the access, but hey, they have their connections. They're always in your business, in your face, flashing lights. And I mean, like, I have lights right now. Record, while for those who are watching, I have lights right now, and they're bright. They are bright. And just imagine if there's like 50,000 of those lights blinking back and forth to you while you're walking. That's why you see a lot of celebrities wear shades at night. Like, a lot of people be like, "Oh my gosh, they're so overdramatic. Why who wears shades at night?" Well, if you had 50,000 pictures and cameras flashing, you in your face, it will bug you. Okay, it will truly get on your nerves. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I do hope that all is well with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. And I'm not gonna lie. And my wife knows this. J-Lo's one of my celebrity crushes. So if they break up, I might be sad. I might not. I used to think I have a chance, but yeah, my wife is like, "Yeah, in your dreams, in your dreams, Harrington." But it's really unfortunate how aggressive paparazzi are starting to get now. They're really, really, really pushing the edge, pushing that envelope on people. And I mean, it's just, I understand that you have to feed your family, and that you have a job to do. But at the end of the day, whatever happened to just respecting people's boundaries, giving them their space? See, the hard thing is, I hear a lot of public figures saying, "We're human too. We're people too." You are people too. But guess what? When you are regularly being shown and publicized on the big screens, when you're doing films, you're at a level now where everybody wants your attention. Everybody wants your attention. And I spoke about this probably 2 shows ago in regards to Anthony Mackie with the fans, the interaction that he has with fans and not really taking pictures with them. Like, he had an issue when people said, hey, this is what you signed up for. And he's like, this is not what I signed up for. Well, what do you think you signed up for, dude? When you work hard to become a public figure, you're here to be, your goal is to be an actor in film and TV, and you're in front of millions and millions of faces around the world. What do you expect? Like, in one level, I feel extremely bad. No one should be harassed. No one deserves or signed up to be harassed, but it comes with the job. It comes with the job. Now, if I'm wrong, please tell me why am I wrong, but I'm just being honest. I'm giving you my honest opinion. You know, I'm hoping this show like booms. I'm hoping it continues to grow in front of millions and millions of faces, in front of so many people. And I'm gonna you know, have fans, and I'm gonna have some haters. That comes with the territory. I mean, hell, I have them now, and I'm a multi-thousandaire. I'm not even a successful millionaire yet. You know, I got some work to do, but I'm just saying, like, I have haters now, and I ignore them, obviously. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you had haters when you were nobodies. It doesn't matter which level you're on. You're always going to have people that want to criticize you. But you have to understand, when you sign up for something, something comes with that job. If I sign on to become a head coach of a squad or a football team, and it's like maybe, you know, multiple other coaches under me, guess who's going to get most of the blame? The head, whoever's the lead. If with my company, if one of my staff members, you know, F's up with something, guess what? I'm gonna get that, because that's what I signed up for. That is what I signed up for. Being in business, that's what happens. It's people just have to stop acting the victim and playing the victim. Now, in this case, with involving the paparazzi showing up at your property, is very unfortunate. But I just recommend to, you know, hey, you might either need to have security, you know, 24-hour security. I know you have a gated fence and stuff, but you're in California, like the Los Angeles part of California, where all the stars are at. Like, it's pretty common that you're going to see paparazzi. That's paparazzi's Disney World. Okay, so don't act like you're there and not going to be bothered. Like, hey, look, they're going to bother you. So, yeah. I'll repeat myself again. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it is life. It is life. Let's see what we're going to do right here. We're going to do another commercial break. Yes, we're going to do another commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Here on, you're listening on all podcast platforms, as well as WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. And if you're watching this, you're probably watching this right now on our streaming platforms. YouTube, our YouTube channel is R Smooth Club Media, or Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show, or on Our Brand TV. Okay, ourbrandtv.com. So online, as well as on Roku, Fire Stick, and Fire TV, and what else? Oh, and Our Brand TV on the mobile apps. So Android, iPhone, multiple ways you can tune in to the platform. So let's see what we're going to do here. Yes, we're going to do another commercial break. Don't go anywhere, and do not, and I repeat, do not change that dial, because if so, you're just going to hurt my feelings. So just don't go. I'm going to do a quick commercial break. I got to wet my whistle. Mouth's getting a little dry, and we'll come back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. right, guys, we are back. So look, the question of the day is, drumroll please. Okay, the question of the day is, should actors be paid more for performing dramatic scenes? Should actors be paid more for performing dramatic scenes? So when this question came across my feed, I'm like, that's interesting. So I'm assuming when it comes to very, very, very graphic involvement. So here's an example right here. So I'm gonna read it. It says actors often find themselves in emotional, challenging situations, especially while on set. In these scenes, the actors portray characters who experience trauma, grief, and intense suffering. Despite the brief moments being fictional performing, the acts can take a toll on the individuals and blur the lines between personal and professional life. As a result, a question arises of whether actors should receive higher compensation for performing these complex scenes. It's important to note that acting is a profession where individuals get into character of someone else, and their stories usually mimic real life situations. When actors take on these challenging roles, they often dive into emotions that deliver outstanding performances. However, the emotional labor these roles bring on can be exhausting and even impact their mental health. Let's see here. In acting, some people argue that higher pay for traumatic scenes is justifiable and acknowledge the additional strain that actors endure. So they bring on some great points, because we've seen actors play serial killers, we've seen actors play serial rapists, we've seen actors play characters that don't abide with, say, their core values, or even, you might have a straight actor play a gay role, or vice versa, a gay person play a straight role. So it can impact a lot, and even people that play real life individuals. So I remember Cuba Gooding played OJ Simpson in The People versus OJ. And what starts to occur for Cuba Gooding right now? He's involved in sexual harassment charges and all this other stuff, man. He's always getting involved in perverted things. I mean, you really haven't seen him a lot in the limelight. That's just one example. I remember, oh Lord, Phoenix. He played the Joker. I can't remember his first name, but the actor that played the Joker, or even Jared Leto, Matthew McConaughey, those guys, I remember just Jared Leto and Matthew McConaughey, they played in a role. They played in a film called The Dallas Club. Oh my gosh, come on, Arrington. Brain farts. Help me out, people. Help me out. Let's see, Jared Leto, what was that? Dallas Buyers Club. And both of them played a role where they had to lose tremendous amount of weight, because it was about the movie involved AIDS and how people start looking like they're deteriorating, right? And so those diets, man, that takes a toll on people. The health, the toll that that wasn't just CG, that wasn't CGI, that was their real life bodies, man. It's insane. The gentleman who played Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix. He had to play a very dark role. So here's how I see it. Should they get paid more? Here's why I'll say no. Because actors act regardless. To me, if you put on a great performance, actually no, let me rewind it a little bit. it seems fair to do so. It seemed like it would be a fair thing to do to get a little extra. But then look at it like this. Okay, if I play a very dramatic role and I'm maybe just like a co-star. I'm a supporting role. I play a supporting role. The lead actor is you have the lead actor, you have a supporting role, and then usually when it comes to and then you have like your extras, but your supporting role doesn't get paid uh based on how much the lead role is, because that they're the lead for a reason. They're uh uh, they have more hours in front of the camera. They have more lines on their script. It's more work, like as far as memorizing. But what if my supporting role though is a more dramatic role than the lead? Should that mean should I get paid equal? Should I get paid more than the average? I mean, it seems fair too, just because they put their toll in their body. But I mean, acting is acting at the end of the day. So I think it's a little difficult on should they get paid more. Now, I mean, if it turns out to be a great film and they make a great, make a great showing, then heck yeah. But it's oh, let's see. I'm trying to give you a solid answer. I have to kind of like pause and think on it a little bit. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see here. Should actors be paid more for performing dramatic scenes? I'm gonna say no, because the actor should get paid to act, and this a dramatic scene is still a part of acting. So in that case, I don't think it should be paid. They should be paid more for a traumatic scene, because at the end of the day, acting is acting. All right. Now, if it affects them, if it really affects them personally, and it's like, oh wow, like we can, maybe, if you need us to compensate, therapy sessions, or depending on which role, like I think then you should, always lend a helping hand. But I mean, because it's in that case, it's like, okay, should an actor get paid uh more for doing a lot of nude scenes or sex scenes? Because it's like, okay, you putting your whole body on, for the world to see everything. And that could be traumatic to an actor, because maybe they don't want they may be sensitive about their body. I mean, they obviously want to be actors, but it's like, ooh, that's a lot of scenes, and my friends might be watching this, might be watching that, so that's also traumatic too. So I'm gonna have to bring this question up again, because I gotta think hard on this one. I'm gonna go around and bring up this question with different groups and friends and families, and I will get back to this question. This will actually be like a part 2 of this question on the next show, because I'm intrigued with this one, and I know a lot of people that work in the entertainment, in film, in theater. I'm curious to get their take on that. So I'm gonna save that question. And we're gonna come back to that one. But I want to move on to let's see here. I want to move on to politics. As you know, I do love my politics, and I like to keep everybody informed on politics as well. Let me make sure my soundbite is all ready for you guys. As you know, this is election season. We have a huge election coming in November, and even on a local level, there are a lot of pretty pretty major local elections. At least I know for for my home state in Virginia, in my hometown. I know Georgia has some big elections as well, and even court cases. Let me go ahead and bring this soundbite for you guys. Let's see here. So an interesting story. So I'm not interesting story, but says here young voters backing Biden more than Trump. Now initially it was the other way around. Initially people were not, especially young people, were not giving Biden the time of the day. They were tired. They were tired of rooting for the old man and him with the unmade promises, which to me just sounds like politics in general. But let me go ahead and play this soundbite for you. This is a reporter from The Hill. Got to interview a young gentleman. Pull up this soundbite right now.
Young voters, there's been a lot of news that President Biden, his support is lagging among young voters behind levels that he saw in 2020. But a new CBS YouGov poll shows that Biden has a nearly 25-point lead among voters under 30. Does this show Biden is standing within that block of voters?
All over the map as far as whether Trump is really making strong. This latest YouGov poll, I think, underscores that the Biden campaign has really made a concerted effort to sort of reach out to young voters, to try and meet them where they are. They've held events all across the country to try and connect with young voters. They've certainly done voter outreach. They've engaged with influencers on social media. They've been on TikTok. All these different ways the Biden campaign has tried to reach out to young voters, because at the end of the day, young voters, voters of color, those are kind of the butter of Biden's base, where he really needs those voters to turn out in November if he's going to beat Donald Trump again. The Trump campaign has sort of touted that they've made inroads with these groups, but ultimately, I think this is an area where the Biden campaign is really focused on solidifying their strengths with these groups. And that latest poll, I think, indicates that work.
Interesting. So I'll put that into more. That was reported by The Hill, by the way, and I'll read that in more context. But it says here that President Biden has a comfortable lead over former President Donald Trump among voters younger than 30, according to a new poll. The CBS News /YouGov poll found 61% of likely voters younger than 30 surveyed support Biden, while 38% support Trump. These voters are more likely to say abortion, climate change, and race and diversity issues would impact their vote than those older than 30. 57% of young voters said abortion is a major factor in their vote. 54% selected climate change, and 52% chose race and diversity. Now, by comparison, half of those 30 and older said abortion was a major issue. 37% listed climate change, and 36% picked race and diversity. It says here, most registered voters in the 18 to 29 year age group also said they approved of Biden canceling student loans, with 72% approving and 28% disapproving. Now, I know Biden has cut out maybe $10,000 out of it. Now I don't know how many is occurred, because I know people that it still hasn't affected them at all, and they're still waiting, and that's why they're really not too keen and too happy about Biden, because they're like, okay, what was the promises about student loans and student debt? Additionally, nearly half of registered voters younger than 30 said neither candidate understands their needs and concerns of young people. The 26% saying only Biden does, and 28% saying only Trump does. However, only 66%, of this group said they will vote in 2024 election, while 94% of those 65 and older said they would vote. The poll was conducted among 2,460 U.S. adults from June 17 to 21, including 743 in the 18 to 29 year age group. The margin of error for the total sample is 2.8% points, and the margin of error for the 18 to 29 age group is 5.2% points. Both Biden and Trump have attempted to court young voters as concerns mount about their age. But okay, it says here Biden, who's 81 years old, and Trump, who's 78, are the two oldest major party candidates to run against each other. Now, I will say this, and I'm very open of saying that I'm not a fan of both. I am not a fan of both. I believe that there are so many other better options. I just think that both parties choose to go who is somewhat trending, because they could easily start working and building up somebody, kind of like mentoring for that role and get them prepared. They've been could have done that, because trust and believe Biden should not be running for a re-election. Yeah, he's in office now, but the main thing was to get Trump out of office. Okay, so now you got to start recruiting the next successor. That's not the case in this point. Biden wants to run again, and hold on real quick. And yeah, that's just not the case right now. So I think this is quite interesting, because again, I'm always hearing that younger people are more on Trump's side, because Trump is looked upon to young people as a personality, not even a a leader. It's just a personality. He's a reality star. He says what he says. He he swears. He says vulgar stuff. He does stupid stuff. Like they like that. They like that. He caters to their demographic. Every time you look at a party boat or whatever, and they got the flag Trump, it's not because they're just proud to be Americans. No, it's a party. That's all it is. They think it's funny. It's humorous to them. When it comes to Biden, I mean, both sides are extremely humorous. One, it's the lesser in two evils in my case. Biden is very old. He is extremely old. Does he meet certain requirements when it comes to the viewpoints that I lean towards? Absolutely. Does Trump have viewpoints that I might lean towards? Yeah, he does. But I look at everything. When you look for a leader, man, you gotta look at character. You have to look at character. Trump fails horribly in that category when it comes to his character. I don't like his character. Well, now when it comes to Biden, I feel as though Biden does say a lot of stuff, but it's like, okay, what have you done for me lately? Right now, look at that as in the Democratic Party too. Now, when you look in the middle, you say, okay, look, I see multiple options. Right? You got RFK Jr., you got Jill Stein, you got Cornel West, Chase Oliver. You got a lot of candidates there. Why can't everybody be on one stage? Why does it have to be such? Oh, we gotta get ballot access. We gotta get this. We gotta get that. Like, that's what kills me, because I feel as though like you're gonna have people that want to abuse that power role, right? They love having that leadership. They love having that power dominance. What do they know about as far as the benefits of young people? When you're 81 and 78 years old, what do you know? How can you relate? You can't, because at that age, you can hire as many young people as you can. It's just not gonna be the same. It's just not gonna be the same. So I hope that I'm glad young people are very involved in this. I hope they stay involved in this. These are critical elections. These are critical times. This is, I mean, please vote, register to vote. If you're not, just don't do a wasteful vote and not vote, because that's insane. You can't do that. You have to vote on who you believe will be the right candidate. And we will see from there. But again, I'm going to continue to follow up with of course, this election on local levels, state levels, as well as the federal level, just to keep you guys informed, up to speed, and up to date with everything. I know they're going to be having, by the time this is out, they already have their first presidential debate, which is hosted by CNN, Jay Tapper and Dana Bash. It will be interesting. I will follow up with you guys with more from that debate. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm looking at the key issues. it says here, women's reproductive rights is a major thing. That is huge. Nobody on this God green earth should be worried about losing rights of anything. They should not be worried or alarmed of losing rights. That's like, no, it's 2024. Like, why are people scared now? They're like, oh, if this person goes in, I could possibly lose my rights to do this. Like, when that wasn't the case years ago. Like, why now all of a sudden? So that's one. Let me see here. Race and diversity it's a big deal. It's always going to be a big deal because we live in a very universal society with so many different race and cultures, and people have to be willing to learn. Okay, I had a conversation earlier with an elderly white lady about involving race and this and that and the other, and she's just saying, we're all Americans at the end of the day. I'm like, yeah, we're all Americans, but guess what? We're still not. We could do better. We can do better. I'm proud to be a U.S. citizen. I'm proud to be born in this country. And compared to other countries, yeah, we got it much better than other countries. But we are not perfect, and we can do so much better when it comes to educating ourselves. The more you know, the more you grow. Is how I look at it. When it comes to race, and I had to explain somebody about Juneteenth. They were unaware of what Juneteenth was. So, and this person was almost 80, like in their mid 70s. They were like, what's Juneteenth? What is that about? Had to educate them. All right. It doesn't make them a racist because they don't know. It's just, hey, you're just not informed. So it's up to, hey, it's up to me. Hey, let me read you the history and give you a history lesson on it. And now you know and aware of what Juneteenth is. That's all. Just be willing to listen and have a conversation and not always, ignore and refuse to build knowledge for yourself is my thing. I could talk for hours, y'all, but I'm running out of time. Real quick before we finish the show, I want to bring up this story about the late great Prince, the artist known as Prince. He is he will be receiving a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next year, in 2025, next year. Very exciting news. Prince is a multi-award winning musician, composer, artist. He is a legend. It's still truly sad the fact that he's no longer with us, died too soon. Purple Rain was my grandmother's favorite song. The movie was great. Everything was great. So it says here, Prince. This is reported by Billboard right here. Prince, Keith Urban, Green Day, and more selected for Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame. So as far as artists, Fantasia, shout out to Fantasia, well deserved. I love Fantasia. Green Day, the Isley Brothers, B-52s, Busta Rhymes, okay, George Strait, and then also Prince. The Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame. Let me see here. Yes, Prince, he passed in 2016 at the age of 57. So well deserved. I know Niecy Nash will be joined, or no, not Niecy Nash. Sherry Shepherd, I believe, should be receiving one as well. Jane Fonda. So many more great people will be receiving this star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So congratulations to all of them. And well deserved, by the way, well deserved. Look, guys, I have to jet, but thank you so much for tuning to the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure to tune in Monday through Thursdays on all digital and streaming platforms at 7 p.m. But hey, if you're listening right now to WDJY 99.1 FM, okay, you can tune into this show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Truly appreciate it. God bless. I'll see you next time.